Hello everyone and welcome back to Wargame Red Dragon. I have a 1-for-1 1v1 for you guys today against Koichi Komeiji, who is actually a nickname for the MINTJELLYMAN, who longtime fans of the channel will know helped me learn this game a lot. After the Adopt a Noob tournament started, I was Sergeant Major at the time, and well, from all of this, I'm now a Brig Gen, so a lot of gratitude to MINTJELLYMAN, and well, this side of Hell in a Very Small Place is something that I always struggle to open with, especially if I know that my opponent is very competent, which of course MINTJELLYMAN is. So I've got a light holdover into Bravo. I don't really have anything going up into Foxtrot, and then I first bought some M41s up onto the top of the plateau, with the expectation being that my opponent would push all the way into Golf. I'd need a lot of points there, and I really didn't have that many to spare. Now, that ends up sort of biting me in the butt here really quickly because, well, I give away this section of woods pretty much for free, and then, yeah, there's FJB right there, this is not going to end well, and I don't really have a lot guarding Fox, so, you know, I have a lot of stuff over here. I have some chaff, I have some tanks, I have double 103D over this way, M48A1s, of course, lots of good things there, and, sorry if the recording's a little bit choppy, I don't really know what's going on with that. Part of the reason I'm so stretched out here, though, is because I've decided to go for Kappa on Echo, and a lot of people will tell you maps have good sides and bad sides, and I don't tend to line up with that very much. But on Hell, I'm kind of sympathetic to it, because, so, you know, there's a lot of stuff in here. I need to get my tanks online, the pathing was a little bit sloppy for me off the get-go. But the thing is, if I don't expect that, and he does that, and I lose Golf, I'm in a lot of trouble. It's hard to cross that line again. If I don't have anything up in Fox, and he pushes there, I'm in a lot of trouble. And if I don't have anything in Bravo, and he pushes there, I'm in a lot of trouble. Now, the only way for this side, in my opinion, to become the good side, is for you to survive the opener. Well, in this case, for me to survive the opener, which, I mean, I got a lot of nice kills here. There was a lot of value there. The SDRV 103Ds did very, very well. And of course the high rate of fire will punish IFVs and infantry, things like that. The issue is, there's already stuff up on the plateau, so MINTJELLYMAN here has just sort of done a push a little bit in every direction, and as soon as he realized I didn't have anything up in Fox, well, that's where he's going to be. Plus there's a Moderna here. I lose a 103D because this thing has a way bigger gun than I can bring to bear for actually cheaper than the double 103D, which is 180 points. And the next thing I know, there's also stuff guarding this side. I need to retake the top side of Foxtrot, or I just lose. And, well, that can be a really challenging thing. So I also have lost my mortar, which is not exactly ideal, and my LHV over here are now basically dead, because with both the 103Ds gone to that Moderna, yeah, this is getting bad quickly. And, you know, I gotta say, it is always a pleasure to do these sorts of things. So this is a friendly game, and, yeah, no, I'm not going to be doing this opener in ranked anytime soon, even though I do love Scandimech. If I'm on this side, something else has to happen, because you can't always count on your opponent just not doing things well, and this is just really tough. There's an ATGM up here, there's a Conqueror's M right up there in that section of woods right there, and I have nothing to deal with it. I've lost my anti-air, I've lost my heavy IFV, I don't have the vision there to see it. This is really, truly pretty awful. Pretty awful. In order to kill that and have a chance of getting back up onto the top of Fox, I bought a Fighting Falcon, which, you know, never buy planes when you're down on stuff on the ground. Yep, that does get the kill. And I just bought a plane. 125 points. Conqueror's M is a nice pickup, but wow, this got bad quickly, hence the title of the video, which is probably going to be something along the lines of strategic thinking optional. That's not for my opponent, that's for me. Now, before we get any farther, I just want to say the tournament signups are still live on the Discord. They will be until the 8th. I hope to see a lot of you guys there. There's prizes, of course. It's a 2v2 tournament format. Signups are individual. Teams are balanced by yours truly. And because of that, I'm not participating in the tournament myself. So I'm giving up the chance to play so that you guys can have a hopefully really fun time doing some 2v2 games with good teammates, good players, and some overall just very nice experience. So that's the hope anyway, we'll see if it ends up that way. You know, for Wargame oftentimes you say with a 1v1, well, the maximum number of people having fun is 1, but sometimes it's 0, so this is a frustrating game that we all enjoy, but you know, I think it has its charm in spite of that, I really do. Otherwise I wouldn't spend so much time recording it, putting it up here for you guys, and all of that. So, I have two Ildottsgruppe 85, just guarding against the reach around strategy here, which didn't end up being right there right away. But the thing is, because I was so light on the ground here, I haven't been able to go up and secure that section of woods, which means reinforcements can come around here at any time. I'm going to try and stay a little farther back and not move so much because I need to figure out what's going on with that recording when I move. I suspect there's some stuff with high CPU usage. I have an old computer, but you know, one day we'll be monetized on YouTube, so this hobby will, in theory, help get some sort of return on investment. Yeah, well, man, I haven't posted on Patreon in forever. Okay, enough with this. So, the cap on Echo, compared to no cap on Charlie, is something where, in theory, if I can survive the opener, this is a huge lead, right? 150 points, and we're only 6 minutes in. That +2 is really, really nasty to deal with. But if I lose Foxtrot completely, if I'm sort of having a tough time in golf, if I lose this reinforcement zone, it's not necessarily going to matter that much. And, you know, none of my heavy IFEs are amphibious, so I can't even do something funny and say, well, okay, you have that, let me reinforce up Bravo and attack in from the side, because I need to come up at some point or another. I'm going to be crossing this bridge to get in. It's part of what makes the Bravo side opener so powerful, is if that player can cut off the reinforcement line here and prevent blue side, my side, from getting back in. So I need to retake this, or I don't just lose Foxtrot, I lose golf completely as well, and then the +2 here won't matter so much because there's still 30 plus minutes left in the game. It's more than enough for a +1 to carry my opponent to victory. So I'm trying my best. We have M48s, we have CV9030Ns, going after that flat contour, and we do get it with the heavy IFVs, but that right there is a heavy tank, and these guys, I was looking at the moment, it was marking inefficient, which is never exactly a good thing, and there's infantry as well. T-72S, one of MINTJELLYMAN's favorite tanks, and you can see why. 18 front, 20 AP for 125 points, plus you get the Sphere ATGM, and it's 70 km/h off-roads. This thing is fast, too. And here I make another questionable decision, but this one, I mean, the MLU, we get a 125 point kill right off the bat, so this is 160 points. There's a 35 point differential there, but at least this is mostly paid off. And without that T-72S dead, I looked at it and I thought to myself, if that's alive, I have no chance of taking the top part of Fox, because Scandi Mech really doesn't have the tanks to deal with that very well. So, you know, I can get 1103D, I'm probably going to lose one, because I don't have a turret, I have to correct myself, and I didn't even realize here until just there that FJB double stack got through my Duckensgruppe. Very damaged, very, very damaged, but if I had noticed it earlier and attack moved into him, we probably could have gotten at least one squad. As it is, there's two admittedly badly damaged FJB in the back line of Bravo, which is an issue if I want to keep this capped. Speaking of, don't buy CVs when you're behind on the ground, especially if you're up 214 plus points of tick and you have a lot of time to spare. So what I'm going to do here in a little bit is I'm going to try and secure this, and then I wanted to keep ticking. And I thought, well, at least then I could apply a lot of pressure. If I get up to 300 or so, he has to respond, and I thought that would buy me time, but this is actually bad math. And it's bad math, oh man, 113G versus FJB, goodness gracious, that's not bad. But it's bad math for one particular reason. If I buy the CV now at 31.5 minutes, and it takes 2-ish minutes for me to get it on the way, I'm going to sacrifice 3.5 minutes or so of progress on the ground in order to make my opponent buy that CV, which he'll buy 3.5 minutes later. That's too long. It's really too long. That's 300 some points he has up front where I don't necessarily, and yeah, I mean, I'll be buying stuff after that first buy. Anyway, ooh, this was another good one. Unfortunate MLU missed, and I think I lose it here? Ooh. No, we got out. But I really wanted to pick up that Moderna. If I could have picked up the Moderna there, then that's the same as the cost of the MLU. At that point, I'm actually ahead because of the MLU, and that would have also made golf a little bit less tenable for the Red 4 player, who now he has that entirely. He has not gotten back up on the top of Foxtrot, but this is not a strong hold. So the automatic can be nice here, but I really wanted to clear out the infantry on the left side of the plateau. So automatic's going up a little bit. It's really tricky to get line of sight here, and this was not a good choice. So what I needed to have done is pulled the automatic back, the guns off so to make sure I don't get shot by seed or something like that. And I should have had the M41A1s and some infantry up here sooner. And yeah, I mean, the Swarmer buy here because of the FJB on that side is sort of necessary. But it's a hard decision, right? this is why it's good to trade well, so that you don't have to make those hard decisions later. Plus, another thing about extending the automatic out, I'll never learn to dodge Manpad Special Forces, is that my opponent watched me draw it back in here, so he knows exactly where it is. And you might not think that's too big of an issue because, I mean, it's still an automatic, it's going to do this to anything that pops up, but it's going to get mortared. And they don't even need to kill it because now there's a stun, it's not firing. That gives time for the Red 4 player to take advantage of that. And, I mean, the MI-17 here could even kill it. Optical failure as well means I can't shoot for 2 minutes. 2 entire minutes. And that's just so brutal, because if this thing was firing, Vidra 2s be dead, SPW-80 dead, MI-17 dead, and that still might have just barely been able to hold. But, you know, these sorts of games of inches, sorts of things, they add up over time. Quite a lot. So, you know, I think everyone's do their tough games every once in a while as well. Nobody wins all the time. Not even the lieutenant generals, major generals, things like that. So I'm certainly not going to win all the time. But I will say, I played a second game with Jellyman after this, and it was another really fun fight. It's hard to play against somebody who taught you a lot of things about the game, though, and that's certainly true here. So, you know, whenever I play against Quicksilver, who was probably the first person I really worked with in order to get out of stuck at private sort of land and 1v1 sort of things, and we had a lot of team games together as well. He just knows how I play, so he knows what I like to buy, he knows where I like to be, where I like to push, how I like to defend, and it makes it very challenging because, well, part of this game is doing the unexpected, having units where they're not expected, getting those nice ambushes off, getting nice trading off, things like that. And it's tough to do that against somebody who knows all your dirty tricks. So here I'm not sneaking that much. These LHV are just a guard. My Totu probably was a bit of an impetuous buy, but I wanted to fend off any advances across the bridge here until I could get something up there to at least let me see it and respond later on. So if I got enough recon over here, then I could pull the Totu around defensively. That at least could be a good thing. Could also discourage heavy tanks and super heavies up in the high ground in Foxtrot, and I thought that'd be nice as well. I do regret not pushing the LRKT forward. Picking up the Salamander would have been pretty nice, and Kolos, you'll notice, is not a Scandinavian unit. That was actually nabbed by a 5-point box that I pushed up to right there, so, you know, hey, yeah, if it works, it works. So, at this point, I've been pushed out of Foxtrot entirely, pushed out of Golf entirely. I have a hold on Bravo, but I'm a little bit nervous here about FJB, things like that. And yeah, I mean, I didn't quite know what to do. The best advice I got after this game was just never to give up the section of forest to the right of Foxtrot for free, ever. Need some infantry there, need some tanks there, need to be able to hold that. And part of the reason why is having stuff in this forest allows you to make it a lot harder for red to push up onto the top part of the plateau, because you can ambush things that are going up that way. And even if it's just an M41A1, 8 AP still scales as kinetic rounds, it'll do just fine with scaling, so that can be the difference between life or death here. It can be what delays you enough to have that lighter hold in Foxtrot like I did at the beginning of the match. So, man, I really don't like doing this without being able to zoom in on individual engagements. I'm going to have to fix this before I record the next one, so... Oh my goodness. I've been trying to work on it the last couple of days, but it's turning into a bit of an issue, lasting longer than I had hoped. So, Leopard 185 N02's new addition to my Scandinavian deck, just trying them out. They're not the most powerful tanks ever, but 12 front, 17 AP, 10 RPM. You could have a worse package, and it can allow you to do things like this, so look at how quickly those LSTR went from having a good day to having a bad day, and this is tough, right? Because now everything I push up here gets smacked before it can really get on its way, and I probably shouldn't have pushed up with those boxes beforehand. I just wanted to know what was there, but 1 or 2 will suffice, not all 4, and I figured, okay, fine, there's guns in the open ground, let's get Stormer up here, let's support with these IFVs and heavy tanks, well, I guess medium tanks, see what we can do there, and just be annoying as much as possible over on the right. Now, the RBS were spotted by the Salamander, that's why they're moving around, but, yeah, goodness gracious. I forgot how many mortars Jellyman uses. Yeah, I mean, it's a good tactic, it's really nice. It suppresses even when it doesn't kill, and when it does land like that, I mean, 5 HE times 3, right? So it's expensive. 3 mortars, 3 of these, those are 40 points each, I believe, 120 points right there. It's over a minute's worth of income, but if it kills Stormer and kills, damages automatics and forces me into a bad tactical situation, it can very much be worthwhile. So Formosa, FJB, LSTR, Formosa, man. Frag launchers up there to deal with any infantry I try to use to sweep and clear is just brutal. Brutal stuff. As Blitzwar would say, can do nothing. So at this point, Block 15, just trading into a ASF here, I get it with the MLU, but I don't know, I probably shouldn't have bought the other plane for it. I wanted that Moderna. So what you didn't see just there, because I was zoomed in, was the Moderna was visible for just a second. I pulled that MLU out, and then it disappeared behind the smoke, and I wasn't able to get the guns online. So if you think back to when that Moderna was in Golf, and I nearly got the side shot, I don't even think that would necessarily make the difference right now, because yeah, it would be nice if a Moderna that's not up on the high ground. The 1A5N02s, the CV93DMs would have a much more relaxed area to work in, but even then it would be really a challenge to clear out the infantry that's on the top left side of Fox. So yeah, it would just be really tough. For all that, I actually don't mind how I fought here. It's like, the only way to learn to play back from a bad position is to be in it. So as far as that goes, honestly, fair enough. If I could do this over again, I probably would have taken some of the infantry reinforcements that pushed up top and try to clear this section of woods earlier in that match. Because I think the issue, well, not the issue, but an issue, was up here once it's gone is really unfriendly. But if I can get back into here, I mean, I have false community right here, right? I should be able to attack into this section of woods, and if I can get through here, if I can get through here, then I can cut the reinforcement line first, and then work my way back. So I cut the reinforcement line here, and then I can go up top and get some good fire on them from that angle. I think that could be a very good thing. Perfect, maybe not. But perfect doesn't get into this situation to begin with. So we pop up here, getting some moat shoots in 90, 20 points apiece is still worthwhile. It's a 40-point pickup there, unless I lose some points trying to get it. But, oh man, I mean, we're just, we see the Moderna, we're moving back, that's fine. We got our value. No need to, oh, wait, never mind. Strategic thinking optional. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I mean, it's rough. Very rough. Yeah, there's the other MLU as well. Nearly got a rear armor shot on that thing, to be honest. That would have been pretty fun. So, yeah, I mean, we're gonna get the Formosa. Some of the Formosa. Yeah, there's the CV buy. And this, I think, was still impetuous. Because it's 105 points. It's not the world's most points. But this is what the issue was at the time. And at a +1, I still have, what, 12 or 13 minutes worth of tick there. And yeah, so out of every loss, I like to try and think, oh, missed micro, by the way, FSK were supposed to go around and they didn't. Out of every loss, I like to find, you go through, you find the things you did wrong, yeah, but I like to find the thing that I think I did most wrong. So the thing that really made the biggest difference. And one thing that made a difference is not defending this section better, but I think the biggest difference was a CV buy at the exact wrong time. Because as you guys are going to see, there's less than 2 minutes left in this game, and this command vehicle makes not one iota of difference. However, being able to secure the side of Bravo, having just enough to push back into Foxtrot, those things would have made the difference, potentially, right? So, yeah, it's just mistakes, and we learn from them, we move on, we have good games later on from there as well. So, Special Afklar and False Community, I think that's a relatively even fight, but I have a PBV up there, it's pretty good, and yeah, I mean, at this point, this is actually even worse than useless, because it's 105 points, but that was spotted. Immediate artillery, look at that, mortars aimed the second this thing was spotted by Formosa, and these Formosa are not alone, so the M41A1s can mop up Formosa pretty well, but not if they have FJB or something like that with them. So we're going to get nice shots in here, but bombers coming in, and it's a little bit too late. So, actually, in terms of value, that's 100 points for 100 points. Goodness gracious, sometimes I feel like an accountant playing this game. But with the automatic dead, and there's a replacement Conqueror's M up on Foxtrot, I give up the Ghost. So, well played to my opponent, Koichi Komeiji, also known as the MINTJELLYMAN. And yeah, it's good to see you again. I know you've been doing some Steel Division 2. It's nice to see you back in Wargame, and I hope we have some more good matches real soon. So, that's going to be all I've got for you guys today. Thank you all for hanging around, and we'll have another video for you tomorrow. Assuming I can fix the zoom in, zoom outs, and yeah, see that stutter right there? not my favorite thing. It's not every time, but yeah, it catches just a little, and the video quality goes down, so I'm going to try to avoid that. Anyway, see you guys around.